Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So we're going to be unpacking what looks like a super simple village tale. The story of Piaj Ram, our onion, and Tomater Lal, our tomato. But, don't let the whole vegetable cast fool you. This isn't just some children's fable. It's actually a pretty incredible masterclass in the psychology of human nature, vulnerability, and really, the invisible social dynamics that hold tight-knit communities together. We're going to break down the anatomy of their bond, how it literally gets weaponized against them, and the profound takeaways we can all apply to our own relationships. So, what exactly happens when the absolute strongest friendship meets the darkest, most calculated rumors? It's a pretty provocative thought, right? I mean, we all like to think our closest relationships are totally bulletproof, but this narrative really tests the limits of absolute trust. It forces us to look at how fragile even the most solid foundations can be when toxic outside influences just start chipping away at them. So, let's set the baseline here and look at who these two friends actually were before the whole storm hit.
Okay, so on one side we've got Paj Ram. He's this incredibly grounded, hard-working pragmatist, and his main goal is just to fix up his house and to ease his family's daily struggles. Totally relatable. And then on the other side, we have Tomater Lal. Now, he is the visionary. His dream extends way outward. He wants to make the entire village the happiest place it can possibly be. So you've got these two goals that represent this perfect balance of personal responsibility and communal ambition. And together, their mutual respect made their friendship the absolute bedrock of the whole village.
But of course, things don't stay peaceful forever. And this wasn't just, one bad day. It was a crazy, cascading sequence of escalating disasters. It's almost like a domino effect. First, in just a single day, heavy, relentless rains completely destroy the harvest. Then, over a really grueling 2 weeks, these insidious rumors start creating a devastating emotional chasm between the two friends. And finally, in a span of literally just 3 terrifying minutes, a massive, life-threatening flood tests absolutely everything. Let's look at exactly how this roller coaster of tragedies actually unfolds.
It all starts with nature's wrath. A sudden, totally crushing storm sweeps across the fields. And when the winds finally die down, well, Tomater Lal finds its entire crop, literally the result of endless, back-breaking labor, just completely ruined, wiped out. He's left absolutely devastated, with his livelihood erased in an instant. It's one of those gut-wrenching moments of total loss and powerlessness that, honestly, any of us who have ever poured our heart and soul into a project can deeply, deeply sympathize with.
But there's an old saying, right? A true friend stands by you in difficult times. And in Tomater Lal's absolute darkest hour, Piaj Ram doesn't just offer, empty sympathies. He actually shows up, he brings his own grain and his hard-earned money to help his devastated friend, proving that their bond completely outweighs any financial ruin. He makes it crystal clear that in true friendship, there are no debts, no favors, just a shared promise to shoulder the burden together. It's really beautiful.
Unfortunately, though, harmony often attracts envy. Enter the pumpkin merchant, or the Kadu Vyapari, and you have to ask yourself, why do people try to tear down what is beautiful? Well, the merchant operates on this super toxic, zero-sum mentality. He sees the village rallying around this incredible friendship, and instead of being inspired by it, he feels totally threatened. So to break their unity, he realizes he has to first break their trust. And just like that, the story shifts from a natural disaster to a deeply psychological one.
And this villain operates with terrifying methodology. He executes this classic psychological tactic, triangulation. It goes like this. Step 1. He approaches Tomater Lal and whispers that Piaj Ram secretly thinks his need for help is just a manipulative act. Step 2. He pivots right over to Piaj Ram, claiming Tomater Lal is ungratefully bad-mouthing him behind his back. And then step 3. He simply steps away and lets human insecurity do the rest. It is a chilling blueprint of how calculated deceit can just exploit our deepest insecurities. The aftermath of all this is incredibly painful to witness, and the fallout doesn't just affect the two of them. It literally infects the entire community. The annual village festival, it completely loses its joy because the emotional core of the village is just shattered. Both friends become paralyzed by their own pride, totally too hurt to confront each other directly, and they sever all communication. The whole tragedy peaks with this heartbreaking final goodbye, where both of them are utterly convinced that their shared journey has permanently ended.
Because the truth is, the pain of a broken friendship is greater than any loss. Sure, losing a harvest is devastating to a farmer's livelihood. Absolutely. But the really profound truth here is that losing your closest confidant, the exact person who makes all that hard work feel manageable in the first place, is a far, far deeper wound. The financial ruin,
that was a setback they could survive. But the perceived betrayal of trust, that was a true identity-shattering heartbreak for both of them.
But wait, because nature is not done with them yet. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the weather turns vicious again. The river water begins rising, and I mean it is rising rapidly. The melancholic, sad silence of this divided village is instantly shattered by sheer, unadulterated panic. Because guess what? The impending flood absolutely does not care about their broken friendship, or their pride, or their silent treatments. The situation turns catastrophic in literally seconds. The floodwaters are already breaching the doorsteps of the houses. If this relentless rain doesn't stop, a massive flood is imminent and the entire village is going to be submerged. And right in the middle of this, Tamatar Lal and his family find themselves trapped directly in the path of the raging currents. They're desperately crying out for help as their absolute worst nightmare unfolds minute by terrifying minute.
And guys, this right here is the defining moment of the story. In the face of absolute life-threatening disaster, survival instincts completely override ego. Piadram doesn't hesitate for a single second. He just violently casts aside all those hurt feelings and those toxic rumors, and he rallies the panicked villagers. He shouts, "We must together save Tamatarlal and his family." It's incredible. True character is always forged in crisis, and Piadram proves that his loyalty was never actually broken. He leads this daring last-minute rescue, pulling his friend's family back from the brink just in the nick of time.
So once the adrenaline finally fades and everyone is safe, the real revelation happens. Forced into proximity, the two friends finally do what they really should have done weeks ago. They actually talk to each other. They confront those hurtful accusations face to face, only to realize, wait a second, neither of them ever actually spoke those words. They had been entirely manipulated by the pumpkin merchant. And get this, the merchant's excuse when they confront him? He actually claims he was just playing a joke. I mean, come on. It is such a classic avoidance tactic used by manipulators when they finally get caught in their own web of lies.
Which really brings us to the ultimate truth of their whole story. True friendship is never broken by rumors. It's broken by the silence that follows them. They realize their fatal mistake wasn't hearing the rumors in the first place, but choosing to believe those whispers over the proven character of their friend without actually verifying the facts. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge. The next time a toxic whisper reaches your ears about someone you deeply trust, are you going to let the manipulator win, or will you have the courage to ask for the truth directly? Something to think about. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today.